Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of my Friday 5. Today I want to talk to you about 5 ways to deal with anxiety. Really, any negative emotion I think is often labeled as anxiety. So, right off the bat, number 1 is potentially the most important thing. We have got to stop labeling our negative emotions anxiety. We've got to stop calling it anxiety. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, that gives me anxiety, right? It's almost just become an accidental habit for us. But here's the danger in that. When we label something, when we put a blanket statement over something and we almost diagnose ourselves, then all of a sudden that opens up the doors for victimhood. So now you feel like there's something wrong with you, this is happening to me, I have this thing and it's called anxiety. Once you start to become more conscious of those feelings and instead of just blanket statement, everything is anxiety, you can actually become objective about your emotions and you can start to analyze your emotions from like an observer point of view, like remove yourself from your feelings. You are not your feelings, and you can start to ask yourself and get curious, what am I feeling right now? Don't say, oh, I have anxiety right now. You need to go deeper than that. You need to go further and ask yourself, what is it that I'm actually feeling? Because that's when you can actually find a solution. And you can, more importantly, find the reason for that negative emotion. So if you just call your negative emotions anxiety, then you're robbing yourself of the opportunity to sort through each negative emotion and figure out what's actually going on. I know it can be dark. I know it can be hard. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, like, that your feelings aren't valid. I'm not saying that at all. And I understand that you might be taking medication. I'm not telling you to go cold turkey on your medication because I did that and it was not pretty. It's not recommended at all. But what I'm getting at here is that instead of blanket statement labeling every negative emotion as anxiety, view yourself as a human being that has difficulties, because we all do, and some of our difficulties are much deeper and darker and more traumatic than others, but all of them are valid. So let's get curious and start to observe our feelings and actually sort them out and say, okay, this isn't all anxiety, right? Maybe I'm feeling nervous about something that's coming up. Maybe I'm avoiding something. What am I avoiding? How can I take a step to start to do that thing so that I don't feel nervous about it anymore, or I don't feel like I'm avoiding it anymore? What in my life is out of alignment, right? Our emotions are information. They're trying to tell us something. They're trying to teach us something. So your negative emotions should not be thrown into a basket altogether and say, I have anxiety, that gives me anxiety. It's like, no, you have negative emotions, you have neutral emotions, you have positive emotions. What do they all mean? And when you have a negative emotion or what feels like something you don't want to experience, ask yourself why. Get to the bottom of it and find the root cause of that emotion instead of just labeling it something that just kind of gives you an out. My life started to change when I stopped saying I have anxiety. Number 2, breathe. Breathe. I cannot stress this enough. The absolute magic, the absolute power of your breath is unbelievable. It is the one thing that no one can take from you. And if they did, you wouldn't know the difference because then you'd be dead. It's with you all the time. It's free. It is so incredibly powerful and it goes unnoticed most of the time. When I had to get rid of my antidepressants and I stopped taking Adderall when I was addicted to it, and I stopped taking pain meds, and I stopped eating junk food for comfort, and I stopped running on the treadmill so that I could feel like I was good enough, and I stopped gossiping, and I stopped blah blah blah, fill in the blank. Anything that I was doing to numb my negative emotions, when I gave that all up, I was literally left with what felt like nothing, and it actually revealed the one thing that I needed to use in the first place, and that is my breath. Use your breath, meaning deeper, fuller, longer inhales and exhales. When you breathe deeply in your belly, in your diaphragm, you're actually relaxing your vagus nerve, sending a signal to your brain that says, everything's okay, nothing serious going on here, I'm all right, chill out. And then the opposite is also true. If you're breathing short, nervous chest breaths, that's actually sending a signal to your brain that says, we're in fight or flight. There's something serious going on here. I'm scared, I'm panicked, I'm nervous, we need to fight for our life. And it basically shuts everything else down. Like, you're not digesting properly, you're not thinking properly, you're going to feel anxious and stressed and burnt out, and you might not even know why. So in any moment that you're feeling anxious or you're feeling a negative emotion, turn to your breath and use it to calm yourself down. Number 3, express yourself. The worst thing we can do is let that feeling bottle up inside of us. So you need to get it out. You need to release it. You need to express it. How can you do this? Move your body. So go get a workout, go for a walk, dance, go for a run, do yoga, whatever it is that you need to do. Jump on a trampoline. Do something where you're actually getting your energy flowing, because that's expressing the energy, that's moving the energy, you're getting it out. So that's one way. Another way is to speak. So if you have someone that you are with, that you love or trust or are friends with, or a relationship, whatever, you need to speak. You need to share what's on your mind, even if you don't know how the conversation's gonna go, even if you don't feel fully supported. It's better to talk it out than to not talk it out. Even if the conversation's difficult, even if it's hard to get yourself to say those first couple of words, it always feels better to get it out than it does to let it stay inside. So that's another way. A really simple way is to write. Get it out of your body. It doesn't have to make any sense. It does not need to be poetry. It does not need to be spelled correctly or grammatically correct. It just needs to be on paper, not in your body anymore. Express yourself. Number 4, I think I learned this from Tony Robbins, probably. So if you have a feeling that is a negative emotion, regardless of whether you think it's positive or negative, it's still energy. So you can use it.
And then you get this moment, for me a lot of times, I just get angry enough that then becomes that like energy that I need. Because if I get angry enough at my shit writing, I get this breakthrough moment where I can start from scratch, and all of a sudden I can feel my brain speed up.
See if you can take that energy, and instead of wishing that it would be gone, instead of resisting it, you use it. Another thing I think of when I say this is Waterboy. He says, tackling fuel.
That's it. That's it. I want you to think about all those mean people. They're going to be your tackling fuel. Tackling fuel.
Use it on the field, tackling fuel, right? If you're angry, use that to create passion and fire within you. Number 5, stop numbing your negative emotions. It will just stuff down your emotional debt further and further until it has to bubble up to the surface, and that's when you have what we call a panic attack, anxiety attack, a breakdown, a meltdown, whatever you want to call it. That's why those things happen. It doesn't come out of nowhere, even though it might feel like it did. It does not come out of nowhere. It's something that you suppress. It's something that you're numbing. Having the consciousness and awareness around what it is that you particularly use to numb your feelings. Is it shopping? Is it gossip? Is it social media? Is it cleaning? Is it working out? Some things are more constructive than others. Only you can know if you're using it to numb something. So that's why checking in and writing or meditating or having conversation with someone that you love is really important. Am I numbing something? Am I not tending to some type of emotion that's wanting to be felt? Is there something that I'm stuffing down that's gonna bubble up to the surface later? Is it better that I just deal with that now instead of numbing it out over and over again? Just asking yourself those questions is really helpful. Just get curious and just start to be more aware and realize that we all are human. We all have negative emotions, and some of them last longer than others. And sometimes there is room for intervention, and sometimes there are different ways of dealing with things that worked for you yesterday that won't work tomorrow. But having the curiosity, having the awareness, and constantly communicating and expressing yourself is so huge. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.